Well, of course, most Americans would disagree, but Joe Biden says he's made a lot of progress improving America's economy since taking office.
Let's go off the wall to break down those claims versus reality. Let's start with this.
Always helps.
Joe Biden says that the United States is the most well-positioned country on the globe to deal with inflation. Watch.
In my plan for the economy, we made extraordinary progress. And we put America in a position to tackle a worldwide problem that's worse everywhere but here, inflation.
A worldwide problem that's worse than everyone.
Everywhere but here. It's worse everywhere else but here, except when you look at the stats, 8.6, a staggeringly high number. South Korea, these are developed economies, by the way, 5.4, 5.1, Canada 6.8. There are numerous other countries we could point out. A lot of hyperbole in that statement, not tied to reality.
It's not simply those three, by the way. I think the United States is somewhere between 10 and 20 when it comes to lowest inflation in the civilized, advanced economy world. That's reality check number one. How about this? Inflation is whose fault?
Putin price hike all the way. That's who it's got to be.
Vladimir Putin's fault.
Today's inflation report confirmed what Americans already know. Putin's price hike is hitting America hard.
Inflation is the Putin price hike.
This is a staggering chart. That should zoom in on this.
But but wait. This is Vladimir. I don't understand.
I don't either, because it was looking pretty steady. I like that. You know, little curves there, a little ridge line. This is Joe Biden takes office. This is the American Rescue Plan passed. I don't know what that angle is. You have to tell me, Will. Is that a
steep ski slope?
80%? No, I can't even tell. Passed. This is Putin invading Ukraine when it comes to inflation. Yet they want to blame all of this on that.
Let's keep going.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
How about this? Oil companies are reducing production and racking up record prices, and that's why you're paying over $5 at the pump.
Oil companies, instead of everybody says, well, Biden won't let them drill, they make more money not drilling and buying back their own stock.
Why has production gone down? Well, it could be that when the Biden administration took office, they suggested they want to put oil and gas companies out of business. Look at this headline. API unveils a 10-point policy plan to restore U.S. energy leadership, fuels economic recovery. They said specifically, Pete, we want to put them out of business.
We're going to put you out of business.
And then what happens?
And what happens is they're not increasing refining capacity for obvious reasons. It doesn't make sense. Or they've moved over to refining renewables, because that's all this administration has signaled they care about is renewable energy. So when you try to destroy an industry,
they stop investing.
And then blame an industry, they stop investing simply as a business decision. So claim versus reality, a gap.
Joe Biden is tired of you and us talking about reckless spending that's saving lives, changing lives here.
I don't want to hear any more of these lies about reckless spending. We're changing people's lives.
Well, that's actually true. They are changing people's lives.
They're changing everybody's life in real time.
Hey, remember that inflation chart where Pete pointed out when the stimulus plan came into play?
Mount inflation, Mount Putin.
What did that do?
Yep. The Fed had to increase its largest rate hike since 1994. By the way, reporting today recently is they're going to do it again. Yeah. They're going to have to do it again because money's been so cheap and so much money's been printed, and that's what's going
to. And they're doing that because, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, that spending plan increased inflation by at least 3 percentage points.
Well, we got to get to this last one because this one's no, go for it. It's a doozy.
Well, look, on the plus side, we're cutting the deficit.
This year, by the end of the fiscal year, we will have cut the federal deficit by another $1.6 trillion in 1 year.
Okay.
This one.
So whether or not we're talking about job creation or deficit reduction, can we put it into a little bit of context?
Please do. Let's say I weighed 200 pounds.
Okay.
And then in 2 years, I gained 200 pounds up to I weigh 400 pounds.
Okay.
and then I dropped 75 pounds.
Nice.
I would say to you, hey, man, I dropped 75 pounds. I'm feeling great.
But you're still 130 up.
I still weigh 325 pounds when I used to weigh 200.
Deficit reduction and job creation are set against the context of some of the largest deficits in American history during pandemic relief. And, by the way, during the biggest shedding of jobs we've had in, I don't know, a century. And from that baseline, Joe Biden is bragging about reducing the deficit and increasing jobs.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We spent more than we ever conceivably had. And he's saying because we got rid of that emergency spending, he's a deficit cutter.
Yeah.
As he would like to spend trillions and trillions more if he could get his Green New Deal passed.
There you go. Off the wall for a little bit of fiction versus reality.